Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, Wire versus Wakefield when it comes to the PDRL Grand Final. League Leader Shield for the Betfred Women's Super League has been won, and Wheelchair Rugby League Grand Final has top billing on Sky Sports. But first we'll look into a little bit of tragic news from one of the Rugby League family. Tributes have been paid to a 23-year-old rugby player who died after being hit by a car in Cheshire. It's happened close to the junction of College Fields in Widnes around about 11:25 PM on Saturday the 18th of September. The man was taken to Wiston Hospital, and after sustaining serious injuries, he later died. The man was named locally as former Widnes player Liam Walsh on the passing of their former player as they were due to play a game. It said, Liam was a product of the club's academy, working his way through every stage of the system and gaining international honours before realising his dream for representing his hometown club. His first team debut came at Super League level against the Leeds Rhinos back in 2017, before going on to make a further 5 appearances for the club before departing in 2019. Liam left a lasting mark on all those who met him and was a close friend to many of the current first team players and staff, remaining a friend of those who progressed through the academy alongside him. The team wore black armbands on the game against Swinton over the weekend, with a minute's silence held as well, and the team paid tribute to Liam, and they were notably upset. One of the tributes you saw was laying on the pitch of a Walshy 23 shirt, black of Widnes Vikings, as a mark of tribute for their fallen friend, the former team. But now we have a look at the Betfred Women's Super League, as St Helens completed a historical league leaders victory as they won their final league game 52-0 against the Wigan Warriors. Saints didn't have it their own way really in the first half, and only managed the 3 tries in the first half, as Kerry Roberts got over twice and Rachel Woozy went over once, with Beth Stott only converting 1 try. After the half though, it was one-way traffic, and it was Paige Travis who went in first. Woozy got her double, Alexander, Leah Burke, Amy Hardcastle then got a double, and Naomi Williams scored on the 75th minute to complete this try-scoring event and giving Saints the victory. Beth Stott finished with numbers of 6 from 10 from her conversions, and it was a day to remember for the Saints, as they have now completed a league and cup double with Challenge Cup in their trophy cabinet as well when they beat Castleford. The Saints must go into their semi-final game for the playoffs as favourites to win the entire playoffs, but they have to beat Castleford in the final game before the grand final. So that means Leeds Rhinos play York City Knights in the other semi-final, and both games are being played on Sky Sports Mix. The Saints versus Castleford is a 1:15 kick-off from the Totally Wicked Stadium, where Leeds Rhinos versus York is going to be a 3:30 kick-off. All played at the Totally Wicked Stadium, As I said, there's a double header, and all the tickets are available via the Saints website, also by calling the Saints ticket office. And then the grand final is being held at Leeds Emerald Headingley Stadium on Sunday the 10th of October, with all the tickets being available through the RFL website for the game. It's also a double header at Leeds as Leeds semi-final. The women's game, also at Emerald Headingley Stadium on the Sunday the 10th of October, will host the Women's Super League Grand Final, kick off at 3 p.m, with it being a double header with the Shield, the Women's Super League Shield, which is the other half of the draw, the first round losers playing for the Shield. Their final kicks off at 12 p.m. on the same day as well. As I mentioned, all tickets are available through the RFL website, so please get down. Seating is on reserve, so the fans can choose between the east or standing in the north stand. Seated in the east stand or standing in the north stand. Let's see who gets there on the 10th of October. Before I go into my report about the wheelchair grand final, which you see Leeds Rhinos have won for the first time, I do have to say thank you to Betfred, the sponsors of all the top level rugby league, whether it's the Challenge Cup, wheelchair, the women's North and South Conference, Super League. They have been fantastic as a sponsors for rugby league. No matter what your thoughts are on betting companies, they have been massive supporters, and we do appreciate them because we need massive sponsors like that. People with bots and money, basically, to be our sponsor. If we could get better on people more willing to part with their money to fund or sponsor our sport, we'd welcome them too. But we have what we have due to whatever management is going on at Super League and the RFL. So the Leeds Rhinos wheelchair rugby league team made history after defeating Leyland Warriors in the Betfred Super League wheelchair grand final to clinch a league, wheelchair challenge cup and league leaders shield treble. The Rhinos were made to fight all the way by the Warriors as the wheelchair rugby league made a thrilling debut in front of the Sky Sports cameras at Gillingham's Medway Park. But a stellar performance from England's Nathan Collins proved the difference. Both sides were eager to get off to a fast start, and it was Leeds through England captain Tom Howell who could and probably should have opened the scoring with a penalty as early as the 3rd minute. The kicks were being traded. It was the Rhinos who broke the deadlock on the 7th minute when a crossfield kick from Collins was picked up by Eva Clevens to go over. Collins himself added the extras. Within only 8 minutes, the Rhinos had stretched their lead to 18 points with tries from Collins off a bullet pass from Halliwell and James Simpson, who spun his way beneath the posts along with conversions from Collins. Leyland Warriors, however, were not out of the contest, starting at a first half comeback through Roberts, who scored a hat-trick inside 10 minutes to underline the underdog's determination. Roberts converted all 3 of the tries, and with 4 minutes to play in the first half, the scores were level. But the Rhinos weathered the storm, and it was Simpson who found himself on the end of a fine move involving two of his England teammates to touch down in the corner and restore Leeds' advantage. The second half continued as the first at breakneck speed, and it was Leyland who were first to strike on 44 minutes through Jack Heggie. The build-up play through the hands was spectacular, and Roberts converted. Leyland found themselves ahead by 2 points for the first time in the game. The Rhinos appeared temporarily and uncharacteristically rattled, giving away a series of penalties, but a Warriors error on the 52nd minute allowed them, through Jody Bird-Ward, to regain some composure with a try converted by that man Collins. Leeds extended their lead on the 56th minute when Collins went over to extend the lead to 10 points with his own conversion. 10 became 16 just minutes later when Clibbons crossed following a Collins break. And on 65 minutes, Clibbons claimed his hat-trick, injuring himself in the process, but essentially putting the result beyond doubt with a fabulous try in the corner. Collins missed the conversion, but the Rhinos were now in total control with 12 minutes to play and 18 points to the good. And the Rhinos was still not done. Collins taking Halliwell's pass to complete his hat-trick, and on the 70th minute he converted that too. But the never say die Warriors fought back through Martin Norris and Adam Rigby, reducing the gap to 12 points with 4 minutes to play. And Rigby went astonishingly close once more as he and Collins raced for the ball on the 78th minute. But Leeds and Simpson had the final say in this memorable final with a try that gave them 52 points to 36 victory. I must say it was a great final. I know Captain James Simpson actually was very, very emotional after the game. He said along the lines of, this is the same team that 3 years ago was being beat in every single game that they played. So now win the treble is a remarkable achievement, and he was massively emotional about it. He couldn't believe what he and his teammates had done. He did have words for one sub that they had, that they weren't able to get on the field. They were trying to get him on to play, but Leyland were too close. He is still part of that team, and I want to give his name. I'm sorry I didn't get his last name, but Paul. I do hope that he realises that he was part of that squad and he deserves his winner's medal and to be remembered at the club. I will be looking for his name and I will be commenting it as soon as I find it, because he missed out getting on the pitch. Team 1. He is part of that. Hope that he doesn't. So, well done to Leeds. 52. 6-3 the Warriors. So there was another game on over the weekend that we must cover, as it was the grand final of the Rugby League Super League Betfred Super League PDRL Grand Final. Warrington Wolves placed Wakefield Trinity, and it's a completion of a hard-fought season by all sides involved. Despite all the issues for the clubs with COVID-19 and other such issues, we come to York St John's University to see Warrington face Wakefield for the last game of their regular season. Last game of the PDRL season for 2021. First of all, here are the teams. We look at Warrington Wolves, as the captained by Jason L. Kerler. Warrington looked to the repeat of the PDRL's inaugural season when they beat Wakefield in 2019. Wolves are looking for Nathan Jezierski and Tony Stewart for their attacking and defensive strengths, as throughout the entire season has come to pass. For the Wakefield team, they have Darren Dean involved. Darren was involved in the Yorkshire Origin side that beat Lancashire in the recent test, and they're looking at the strike players like Ben Nicholson and Ben Reynolds, who are really up for these games and hopefully produce some wins for the Trinity side. So we come into the first half, and as you expect, both sides are committed to the floor. They are not holding back in going forward. Hits are raining in from left, right and centre, and Warrington's Mr. Grumpy was at it again, getting involved in one of the tackles with one of the Wakefield's smaller players, and taking exception to either something that they said or how they went about defending themselves in the actual tackle. If you don't know who Mr. Grumpy is, go watch Warrington Wolves, you'll soon find out who that is. Now, there was one real attack of note in the 25-minute first half, as it was an arm wrestle between the two. Mostly great defence from both sides, so you couldn't take your eyes off it because you knew something was coming. And a pass by Tony Stewart found Nathan Jezierski, and he had quite a clear run through to the try line and to put the ball down underneath the sticks. The problem was the referee had blown up a little bit earlier, saying that Nathan was offside, and the penalty was given to Wakefield Trinity side, and we went to the half time at 0-0. So into the second half we go, and it is a bit of an arm wrestle. Again, it's tough for both sides. A few mistakes, you must admit. It did slow the game down a little bit, but that came with the nerves of being a grand final, and neither team wanted to step out of the line before any real commitment towards winning came to them. Any opportunities, and it was Warrington who got the first attack, proper attack, as the ball was laid off around about halfway for Jezierski again, and he had a clear run to the try line. Wasn't offside this time, and he dotted down under the sticks for the first try of the game, making it 4-0. He went on to convert his kick to make it 6-0, and everyone was getting involved in the game. It was coming too close to the end of the game in the final few minutes, and they brought on the youngsters, the lifeblood that they need for this form of rugby league to keep going. I mean, real youngsters are about 11 years old. The name eludes me, unfortunately. I apologise about that. I think it was Josh Whipday. If I'm wrong on that front, I do apologise, but I'm not sure. Anyway, he goes in for a drive. He was tagged after making 10 metres, and it's on the last. And the Warrington team kicker sees that there's gaps opening behind the Wakefield line, And in the chase for this kick is Adam Hills, and he's up against the fullback, and he gets there first, which he passes on to Tony Seward. And even though he was tagged, he was in the motion of putting the ball down, so the try is given. And now Warrington are completely in the lead, and only a kick to come before the final hooter. And the kick is successful by Nathan Jezierski again, and it finishes 12 points to 0. Both teams played their hearts out, and I think the better team won in the end out of the games. I'm not going to call them man of the match because they're all men of the match. People of the match because there were a couple of women players on the Trinity side. So thankful that everyone involved came through relatively unscathed, and will be alright in a few days. But like Warrington did on their social media page, huge thanks must go out to the York City Knights Foundation, who were great for putting on the volunteers and also the event for this grand final. Huge well done to all the players as well, coaching staff, physios, staff that worked there, because they would have been overworked with this form of rugby league to keep these players fit and keep them ongoing. They were good people, so can't say anything else but thank you to all that give up their free time so that this form of rugby league goes on. So, I'll leave it at that. My people of the match are everyone who was at the York City Foundation and York St John's University for the PDRL grand final. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share this video worldwide. At this moment in time, I want to take a time out to thank everyone that was involved in these grand finals, and well done to all the victors, and commiseration to all those that didn't quite win the games. Congratulations to Leeds on their treble in the Wheelchair Rugby League. Congratulations to Warrington for the PDRL victory up against Wakefield. Well done to St Helens women for winning the double. I'll keep saying it because it is a double, and wish them luck for the treble. They're going to have a few tough challenges in their way to get that result, but if they stay fit, they've got the squad to definitely make that impact. So, I'll say it again. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. Stay healthy. After each other. And I'll catch you in the next video.